Hey there, everybody. Mr. Deary here. It is Monday, April 6th. If you hear something in the background, it's my daughter who's coloring away. But I want to come to you today with a poem. This is actually one of my favorite poems. It's by an author named William Ernest Henley. It's from the 19th century, and it's entitled Invictus. This is also the name of a popular movie from a couple years ago about Nelson Mandela, where this poem was actually featured. But the word Invictus means unconquerable. And this poem has the audacity and the boldness to have that kind of mentality. And I think it's a fitting poem for a time like right now where we have to be steadfast. We have to be resolved in some way in order to survive this. Not in the literal sense of survival, but for our mental and emotional well being. So I'm going to read this poem to you. We'll talk about it briefly. And this is one that is one of my favorites, if not my favorite poem. So I have a framed copy of it, and I can actually see it just off screen behind my actual desktop computer, which my wife gave me a number of years ago for Christmas. So this is something I see all the time. It's words that I utter to myself whenever I am feeling weak or uncertain, and I want to make sure that you can see that as well. So without further ado, let me read this poem to you. Invictus. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And I love this poem because it's just such a bold declaration. And it's such bravado and confidence, especially in that last two lines. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And you see this narrator talking about how they've been abused and broken and beaten down, but yet they refuse to be defeated. They are invictus. They are unconquerable. The darkness of the night from the first stanza, the fell clutch of circumstance, the horror of the shade, how charged with punishments the scroll, all of these horrible things are happening to this narrator. All these horrible things are occurring, and yet they find themselves resolved and strong in that time. Now, for you, I'm not encouraging you to go out and believe recklessly that you are unconquerable. I don't say this poem to you, I didn't read this poem to you today for you to go out and to act recklessly or foolishly or to downplay this or to just treat yourself like you're immortal, but to remind you of the resolve that you can have in the things that we have to do, in the isolation from shelter at home, from the work that we have to do as students and as teachers and as citizens, as individuals to make it through this time. How when you hear information on the news that causes you to be stressed out and anxious and worried, that you can find a way to be strong, to not be conquered by those concerns, and to be able to grow from there. I'm looking forward to hearing from many of you this week during live streams and moving forward. I'm going to continue to do these videos for you as just a little daily encouragement. Again, show you some of the things we're going to work on. This weekend, I actually got one of my projects started. We'll probably feature that after it stops raining here in 3 days. But for the time being, just know that you are missed, you are cared for, and I cannot wait to talk to each and every one of you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Go Bucks.